All right, wonderful people. Let's go ahead and get started on sets. So in the last lesson, we looked at these different methods for these different expressions and what they did, how they search through things. That'll come back important here in a bit as we use them. I also want to make you guys aware, well, I'll show it in a moment, because as we're playing around with sets and occurrences and escape characters and such, there's a website that's going to be really useful. I'll actually show this in a second, but it's called Regex 101, and we're going to play with that in a bit. So you might want to navigate there in a moment. But integer ranges, okay? These cells, these things that we're putting in here, this kind of a deal, okay, will allow you to use regular expressions to search for certain values within a range, such as numbers 1 through 4, right? So previously, we've only looked explicitly for something that matches A, B, C, D, right? Or 1, 2, 3, that kind of a deal. What if I want to say any alphabetical number that's lowercase, right? Or any alphabetical number that's uppercase, that kind of thing. That's what we're going to be working through here. So I'm going to say pattern int equals re.compile. And again, this is saying we're going to take the stuff that we're putting into re.compile, and we're going to save it to our pattern that we can then use to search and other stuff. Okay? And in this case, we're going to start using some actual regex, right? So we're going to use this here. I'm going to go 0 through 7. And what this means is that the first character of what we're searching for has to be between 0 and 7. We're going to make this more complicated in a second. But for right now, I'm going to do random numbers equals random, pattern underscore int dot search. And we're going to look inside of this string. So we're going to look inside of the string I'm about to type for anything between 0 and 7, right? So we'll have 6, 7, 3, 8, 3. Okay? And I'm going to print random numbers. Right? Now, we did not get back all of them. So, which is okay. Span equals random numbers. I'm going to keep working on this. Dot span. And we're going to print random numbers. Span 0. And this, the difference between this and this is this will actually tell us what's inside of this value here. Okay? So our first item is 6. We can keep iterating up here. And it's mad because there is no such thing. And that is because we're only looking for one thing. We're not looking for a list of them. So we're going to add another one here, or multiple of them. So we'll have 7 through 9. And now we will look for, notice that now I added that second one. Okay? And let's see if there's another one. Nope. Okay? Because, again, this is only 2 characters, and as soon as it got up to the second character, it stopped. So let's do one more. 0 through 3. Okay? And now we've got something that's 3 characters long, and we've got that. Okay? And again, our span, we only have one object in there, and it goes from index 0 to 3 of the string that we are searching. Okay? Now, if I did another one that was 0 through 7 here, what happens? Oh no! We get back none, right? And that's because 8 is not in between 0 and 7. Okay, so I'm actually going to get rid of that one just so that we can see that it worked. But if you add more things here, this would have to meet that parameter, right? We could also just literally say this has to be the number 7. Okay, obviously that'll be grouchy. Or we could say this has to be the pattern. Let's get rid of all of this real quick. Right? We're going to try and target this 7 first and see if this works. So we'll do 7, 3. Well, we're going to be like super obvious what we're looking for. See if it runs. Okay? We did get something, but now there's no such group at 0 because it has to start at 1. Actually, I don't even know if... let's see if we can do this. Yeah, tuple index out of range. Come back to that. This obviously is going to be something totally different. But yeah, so don't worry about that too much. Actually, I'm going to go back a whole bunch. Go back to our actual functional regex so that you can see what it looks like when it works. There you go. So there's some integer ranges for some character ranges. Oh, and by the way, there's a faster way to do this. So this is actually what regex 101 is really useful for. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to put it here in my test string. So this is the thing that I'm actually looking for. And then the stuff over here that I'm trying to look through, I don't need the quotation marks, I just need this content here. I can put it in there. It will automatically run it, okay, and look for that match number 1. Okay, so here we have the match information. Match number 1 is 673. It goes from index 0 to 3 of our test string, right? And we get these really cool explanations of every single thing that's going on here. Okay, I'm not going to read all of it to you, but you can see what that means. The flags here are another interesting thing. Okay, I'm going to leave both of those on just because it will search my entire document. And then my little cute picture's in the way. But down here, you have all different kinds of commands you can put in. We're going to go over a whole bunch of these, not all of them, because we don't have time and it's not the scope of the course. But if you want to get really good at regex beyond what we're asking you to do today, they have all these different instructions and different commands that you can put into here for different things. And again, you can hover over this. And this says, this matches a single character in the range between 7 and 9. Case sensitive. Right? So, I'll move my little picture back down. We'll be back and forth to this website. We'll be exploring things, experimenting. I highly recommend that you put a lot of the problems that we're doing in there and see how that works. It does not show you about... Oh, you gotta make sure it's Python too. It doesn't really matter, but it does matter a tiny bit. It does not show you the differences between the compile and the search and those other things, but especially for your homework assignments, if you're just trying to figure out what the regex expression is, like what this part is that will return what you want, regex 101 is a great place to play around with that and get good at it. So, character ranges is the other part. I'm going to define a variable char pattern, and that's going to equal re.compile. And we're going to do A to Z, capital. And then we're going to do another one for lowercase a to z, right? And instead of search, because search will only bring back one thing, that's part of why our span thing was weird, right? Instead of search, this time we're going to do found equals char pattern dot find all, right? And now we're going to look for every time that this pattern, where we have a capital letter and then a lowercase letter right after, every time that shows up. So we're going to do hello there, Mr. Anderson. Okay, and then we're going to print found. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so now this brought back hello and Mr. and Anderson. And the reason for that is this first one is A through Z uppercase, right? So it's the whole alphabet. And we could also do like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. We could do it that way, right? And write out the whole thing. Or you can have this A through Z kind of a deal. We could also stop at like L. Okay? And then it gets rid of Anderson because L comes before N. Oh no, it got rid of Mr. There we go. That's why. Because R comes after. And we could do like that, and that would get rid of Anderson, but leave hello. I'm going to put both of those back, though. All right, so now when I run it, it brings them all back. And, of course, if you are curious, you can always run help on something, and that is our sets. Okay, now, it would get tedious, right, if we wanted to bring back all of Anderson to write this a bazillion times, right? So that's what we're going to work on in the next video, counting occurrences. All right. So we're going to see how many times something happens, and then we'll send you off for in-class exercise 1. Onward to counting occurrences in the next video.